Good morning, Mob TV. Hello. Who's listening? Hello, Jeanette. Good early morning for you. Mark, good morning. Diane, good morning. Welcome. We are starting. I hope you're all doing well today. It is, hello Dolly, hello Pat, hello Jasmine, welcome. Audrey, good morning, welcome. It's 11:30, but as someone stated in the mob, the U.S. is out of sync. I think that was Malcolm. So it's really, is this before? So 10:30 normally, but it's really 11:30 now. So we went ahead an hour. Jeanette, your typing ability is time impaired because of, it's because of the hour. Hello, Rebecca. Morning, Heather. Welcome. Hello, Paige. All right, Z, where are you? We have to get our intro person to come in and say good morning and hello. Come on in.
Hi.
Say welcome to the Mob TV.
Welcome to the Mob TV.
Yes. All right, close the door when you go out, please. Thank you. Excellent. I hope you're all doing well today. It's nice. The weather's actually turning. It's getting really nice over here. So, let's see. It's about, let's see. It's about 40 degrees, 34 degrees, but it's really nice. It's cool. So I don't really feel the cold anyway, but it's really nice. Hello, Tanya. Welcome. Make sure I got everyone can follow the feed. Dolly's not with us today. She's with us, but she's not with us. She's doing a Trader Joe's run. So she's here, but she's not here next to me. So if you don't feel, if you still have questions for her, feel free to ask them. And hello, Rayhan. Hello, Ray. How are you? All right, so let's begin. Shout outs to everyone that's on YouTube. If you're on YouTube watching us, good morning and hello. We have our channel, so Chris, our resident technomancer, works his magic and gets us on YouTube as well. So shout out to everyone on YouTube. Don't forget to follow us if you haven't found us on YouTube yet. Make sure you look us up at Ben Peach's Storyteller and like, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification bell so you can find out whenever we have our show. Let's see what we got here. Jeanette says 2:30 a.m. and medication for. Oh, I saw your sinus steroids. Yeah, that's gonna get you jittery. So don't type too much. Yeah, I have so this Mob TV, we have the different fleece blanket in the background, and it looks pretty awesome. This is a series of art and covers, and we've got Galen Dara here, we've got Mona Finden here, we've got Jean Malika's covers from Night Warden. So it's a whole combination of things. It looks fantastic, and it's really comfy. Ask Jeanette, she can tell you how comfy these fleece blankets are. So get yours. I think there's still, last time I checked, there were 40% off on the ZAZZLE store, so go get some. If you haven't followed us yet, please do on Instagram. We're at Bitten Peaches. You'll know it's us because you'll see excerpts from all the books on Instagram. So go there and follow us. And I put up a bunch of snippets from the books or comments. It's really fun. Also, we have our ZAZZLE store where you can get swag like what's behind me. And it's at M&S, EMANDES, M&S. So find us on ZAZZLE and you can get, that's where Dolly has been shining her creative juices and all these ideas that she gets, and she puts these amazing things on ZAZZLE, and it looks fantastic. This particular blanket was designed by the Valkyrie you saw at the beginning, Zoya. She put this collage together, and this is her design. So she's taking her mom's footsteps. I see Chris said, Chris, our Technomancer is on. So good morning, Chris, and welcome. Chris Dos. So yes. So yeah. So go to ZAZZLE and go pick up some stuff. Go get your swag on at ZAZZLE. We have so much stuff. Last time I was in ZAZZLE and I looked at the store, I got lost. And I was like, so much stuff that's just, and I want to get like one of everything. It's amazing. Okay. We also have, announced we have new patrons for our Patreon. So we have Jasmine Breeden, thank you, Jasmine. Diane Katzman, thank you, Diane. And Stacy Stein all joined our Patreon. So according to Patreon, I am creating a short story every quarter, so every 3 months. So I'm working on a nice short story. It's gonna be fun. Just for the patrons though. So these are for the people who sign up to Patreon. You get a short story just for you guys. If I've missed you, let me just say hello. Is that Adele? Is that how you pronounce your name, Ree? I hope I didn't mangle it too badly. And Peggy, hello Peggy, welcome. Stacy's taking a nap today, right? Okay, I'm not even getting in the middle of you guys and Acheron. So, yeah. All I can say is, do not cross, Tammy. She will shut that down so fast. All right, let's continue. I haven't released a newsletter this month yet, but I anticipate releasing one maybe towards the end of the month. But I'll go over what's coming up. But I try to have it at least once a month for everybody, for all the creative warriors on the newsletters. So I try to do that once a month. So go to www.orlandoasanchez.com and sign up to our newsletter. And that way you can get news, things that are happening, things that are, going to occur, stuff like that. Let's see. Des is happy. What did Jeanette say? Des is happy for me and lets me grab M&S stuff. He gets his kicks. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad he's happy. Jasmine, Tammy, it's not that she's terrifying. It's the potentiality for terror that's there. So don't go there. The large gala mug. Yes, the large. Oh, yeah, that mug. I have one mug from Galen Dara that's here. Let me see if I can showcase it to you guys. This is the one that I initially got. We're using it. We're using it for because it's just so nice. I don't want to drink out of it. And this is her artwork, all three, and it's wow. It's nice. So there's a lot of great stuff on the ZAZZLE store that Dolly has put up there. So just go to this, go get some swag. It's all pretty awesome and it's all affordable. So it's great. Follow us on BookBub. We have our BookBub. I guess I want to say a BookBub channel. It's you're just following me. So look up my name on BookBub and join everybody else that's there. Right now, I believe there's only about 200 and something people. We have over 1,400 people in the mob. So let's try and get that number up and, yes, we don't, like Chris says, we don't fight over a book cover, guys. Really, we don't. Yeah. Jeanette, really, you didn't get that one? Jeanette says she feels kind of silly that she missed it was M&S, meaning M and S. So I figured I'd put it right there. That's how a lot of things in the books are. It's hidden in plain sight. So there you go. M&S, the ZAZZLE store. Also on Binge Books, or Bibo as Dolly and I call it because we shortened it. So Binge Books. Follow us on Binge Books and join Binge Books. And please leave your reviews. I don't know how many reviews we have on Binge Books, but go look me up on Binge Books because they're a new service and they're promoting authors, all kinds of authors. I have a lot of authors that I know that are promoted there, but just go there and leave your reviews of the stuff that you've read because it populates the site and it gives us more visibility. So go to Binge Books and go find me and then leave reviews and you'll find other authors there. John Logson's there. There are a few other authors that are there. So go to Binge Books and find me, please. All right. So hopefully you're all doing okay and enjoying this weather. Yes, Dolly, I just showed the cup that's on Dolly's desk. The two-tone Galen Dara cup is on Dolly's desk. Well, it's our desk. It's a really big desk. And that's on her side, and she's basically using it to hold her markers and colorful pens, and it's a nice cup. I enjoy it. It doesn't come close to the Iron Man cup, but you know, it's a different kind of art. So let's see, where are we? Oh, okay. As soon as you can breathe, Jeanette, and your sinuses give you some freedom, go over to Binge Books and get on there. All of you guys, really, get on there and sign up. It's free. And you're going to find a bunch of authors in all different genres. And when you find my name, just go and leave reviews, you know. It just doesn't have to be long. Just say, hey, this book was good. Or, hey, it could have been longer. Things like that. But yeah, just go leave reviews and populate the reviews, because that way we get more visibility. So let's see what's coming up. Currently nameless, Sepia Blue Book 4 is in the final shreds. I want to give a shout out to the art that shredded this one, because the last Sepia book was 4 years ago. So I want to shout out to everyone who shredded this current Sepia Blue book, because there's a big gap between books. And thank you. I mean, maybe you read it, maybe you read the other 3, maybe you didn't, but even if you haven't and you did, if you shred it, and this goes for every shred, I'm always humbled and appreciative of the shred that the art does, because you guys are phenomenal. Like I always say, you take a good story and you make it a great story. So shout out to the art. I get back into it today over the weekend, and then it should be coming out. Today's 19th. I'm hoping that Sepia Blue 4 Nameless goes out Monday or Tuesday of next week. We'll see. I'm aiming for that, but we'll see. Then, They Rend is currently doing really well on Amazon, but I think you guys have to, where are the reviews, guys? Put the reviews up, you know? I know life gets in the way. I really know. I do. I understand that. And so if you get a chance, same thing. You go out, you just, you know, hey, They Rend, awesome book. Or hey, They Rend, should have been longer, you know? Fun stuff like that. And just leave a review for They Rend if you haven't already. Okay? I really appreciate all your reviews. So it's only at 68. Let's see if we can get it to 100 reviews. And then I stop nudging you after 100, because it kind of gets momentum after 100, and then it just goes on. So let's get that 68 to 100. If you haven't left a review for They Rend, the second in Nixia's stories, please do so as soon as you can. I really appreciate it. Let's see, what does Jeanette say? I miss getting my thoughts on Nameless sinuses. Yeah, I understand. Oh, let's see. Jeanette says, I have a question. Mage levels, just how close to Archmage is Monty? He's really close. He's about a few shifts away. But it depends on what he goes through. But he's close. But if in terms of Archmage, he would be like a low Archmage. He'd still be really powerful, but he wouldn't be like Julian. And Dex is so powerful that he would be considered beyond Archmage. He'd be like an Archmage. So Chris asks, when does Sepia go live? I'm going to say, I want to say Tuesday, but I'm going to try and push for Monday, Chris. So we'll see. Hopefully Monday, latest Tuesday, depending on when I dive into that final shred. Let's see what else we got. Oh, so They Kill. So They Kill has started, which is the 3rd book in okay, so how do we break this up? Nixia was supposed to be a trilogy, but the NAC, the mob NAC, the Nixia and Acheron coalition has made their voices heard. And so it's going to be an ongoing series, the NAC. But these 3 books, or these 3 novellas, will be kind of an introduction to Nixia, and then they will jumpstart Nixia's series, the Darken series, or the Darken Chronicles, right? So the 3rd book in this trilogy, in this novella trilogy, is already being written. It's going to be short. I'm aiming for it to be 20K, but you know how it is. I always say, it's going to be 20K, and then it ends up being like 30 or 40K. So 20K, and I've already started it, and it should be done, I don't know, soon? TM? Soon. Oh, yeah, see, Jeanette, and that's a great comment, all right, and I have to get to Lindsay's comment too, but it's, she said, one comment I was going to make was maybe having each chapter prefaced with who was speaking. That was one thing that I found difficult to follow. Yes, especially if you haven't read the other 3 books, it's hard. But if you've read the other 3 books, it's not so hard. It's just, I wanted to keep it to the spirit of the 3 books that came prior to Nameless. I didn't want to start changing it too much. What did Lindsay say? What was going to happen when Peaches gets too big to ride in the Beast? We'll get a bigger vehicle. We'll get the super goat or something like that. Peaches doesn't really need to ride anywhere. Peaches can plane walk, so he can go anywhere he needs to go. So, you know, it's like Chris says, so many words, not enough time, for sure. John says, whenever we start talking archmages, not just M&S, I immediately think of the hierarchy of the Catholic Church. For some unknown reason, I want to put archmages in more vestments than a mage. And no, we're not doing that, John. Sorry. Jasmine says she's really enjoying next year's stories. Yeah, I'm really enjoying writing them initially. And it's like every other story. You don't really know how it's going to be received. But I wrote that story, 1, because I wanted to go a little darker. And next year's definitely darker. And 2, I wanted to have a story where I could cut loose a little bit. The character doesn't need to be as, what would she be considered? Not chaotic evil, but maybe chaotic neutral. So she's not exactly what the poster child for the good guy. She's really an anti-hero. And having a demon partner just kind of lends more credence to that. So it's going to be an interesting story writing the darkened stories. It's going to be interesting. Lindsay says, have you decided on Chi and the whole audiobook readings? Yes, we're going to go with Kevin doing the entire audiobook in Chi's voice. So we'll see how that works out. So we'll see. Let's see. The reason about Monty's archmageness relates to earlier comments about you cannot speak. You can't. And I'll tell you that we have the title to this the series, right? Book 21 is titled Archmage, and that's when Monty really approximates getting close to that level of power. We're only on book 13, so a lot has to happen between then. So yeah, so it'll happen. It's just gonna take a while before March, and I don't think he's gonna be able to stay at that level because it's just too much power. And I don't want to have a situation where everything he gets so powerful that he can only start dealing with gods, you know? So I don't want to go down that route where Monty becomes so strong, or even Simon becomes so strong that everything has to be scaled up to the point of everything's obliteration. You know, he can get to that level and then be brought back down to a more manageable level because there are definitely beings stronger than them, which we'll see in Requiem. They're being stronger than Monty. They're being stronger than most mages. And so they just don't make an appearance so often, but they will make an appearance in Requiem and other books too that are coming up. Hello, Morna. Welcome. Yeah, we leave the tiny gods out. Yes, for sure. If I didn't catch you as you came in, I'm going to just give a blanket welcome to our Mob TV Kaffeklatch. If you don't have cafe, like I do, cafe. Tea is good. Juice, water, they're all good. Yeah. Well, it's like anything else, Jeanette. Jeanette says they grow slower in long-term power. It takes longer and longer and longer. Like to get to Dex's level of power, and Dex is ridiculously powerful. It would take Monty. Monty's only about 200 years old, around there, and Dex is a lot older than that. And so his power level, Monty and Dex they're not even in the same league. It's like, put it like this. When Simon was facing Dex and walking the razor, it would have been very easy for Dex just to obliterate Simon, but that wasn't the point, obviously. But it would have been so easy for him because remember, he was holding the gate open and he was dealing with Simon, and he was dealing with other things, and he had Monty in the sanctuary. There was a lot of things going on, and for Dex, it was like another, just another day. So yeah, 250. So Monty's really young in terms of mage age, All right, let's continue. So speaking of Requiem is being written. I'm writing it. It's not like I neglected it. But I wanted to get They Kill out before Requiem so that I could just focus on Requiem and get that one done, because I think that one's going to be another long one. I think it's going to be, I'm looking at 70K, but it may be even longer, maybe 80K. just because I want to really give a lot of the characters that are in there in that story, I want them to kind of shine. And I'm bringing a lot of new characters in there. So it might be a longer book. I'm not used to writing long books, but with Requiem, I give myself enough time that I could write it. And it could be 75, 80K. So we'll see. Jeanette says decks like TK and LD are something in millennia. I don't know what that word is. I know this has to do with your slow typing. So we'll figure it out, I guess. But something millennia. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with TK and LD either. They're very powerful. Especially TK. Yeah, Lindsay says, the longer the better. It staves off my ending disappointment longer. Yes. Right, Jeanette. Requiem has a lot of Simon background to fill in. Oh, ages. Got it. Okay. Requiem has a lot of Simon background to fill in. So I kind of want to take my time with that a bit because here we are, book 13, and this is when we're actually starting to discuss backgrounds. So, and you guys know my policy. I don't do background dumps. I mean, it took 13 books to actually start touching on Simon's background, right? And even Tristan's background, we haven't really got into in depth, like who's his mom, who's his family, why are they mages? So it's a lot of stuff like that. I'd rather do it over a long period of time because it makes the stories interesting. And we could also focus on what's happening in the moment more than if I just say, okay, well, this is Simon, this is his history, and it gets boring like that, you know? It's a good question. If Roxanne could block Monty from casting even temporarily for healing, would she? I don't think she could. Roxanne is strong, but Monty's stronger now. So, you'll see that in Requiem. She makes a comment like that. I think I put it in one of the snippets. He's much stronger because of the schism. So even if she could, in the sense of if she attempted it, I don't think it would be successful. Right, Jeanette. War Mage gives us a bit of Tristan's history and Master Yacht's history, which at some point I want to write a story with just Master Yacht, but that's going to be so far ahead in the future. So we'll see. It's like Chris says, so many words, not enough time. But War Mage is fun. Yeah. Yeah, Jeanette, it helps us. It sets up Monty's age as being older. True. Because he does go back a few centuries. And Jasmine says, it just builds up anticipation about the characters and so much more development. And I really wanted to get into Simon's background a bit. Like, how did he end up where he is now? How did he get kicked out of the group that he was in and why? You know, we know that he's a dead eye, like a sniper. But what happened that he was asked to leave, you know? Oh, that's awesome. So, okay, let's give a happy birthday to is this Chris Chrisman 3? Happy birthday to Chris Chrisman watching on YouTube. Happy birthday, Chris Chrisman. I'm going to say Chris Chrisman 3 because I know Chris Chrisman 2. So yes, Master Yacht for the win, for sure, Mark and Jeanette. I've always wanted to write a story with just him, especially after he had a great kind of moment in the War Mage, and he does pop up like in Night Warden and a few other stories, and a lot of Monty Strong has Master Yacht. But it's just to write an entire story about him. I got to get into a little bit of his backstory and things like that. So it's gonna take a little while. But he has, like Jeanette says, he has great yachtisms. It's some of the things that he says to Simon as he's whacking him in the head. The other one that I'm going to, I think that's slated for next year because this year is so packed. But next year is Iker the Unseen's story. That's going to be fun. So if you don't know who Iker the Unseen is, you need to go read Rule of the Council. And then you'll know who Iker is. And if you know that, once you know who he is, you'll see why I can write his stories. Hello, Dawn, and welcome. Oh, I think I wished you a happy birthday, but happy birthday, Jeanette. 55, double nickels. Yeah, there's no need to grow up. You're just getting older, but you're not really you're just chronologically aging, but you're not getting older. Oh, John, that spreadsheet is going to be, when Jeanette told me what the amount of information that's going into that, my brain nearly zillified. So yeah, that spreadsheet is going to be something else. But yeah, Jeanette's doing an amazing job. So happy birthday, Jeanette, and happy birthday, Chris. And I can only imagine what kind of story it was, Chris, on naming the second Chris or the third Chris. So yes. All right, age is just a number. The things that I do at my age, I couldn't do when I was younger. So, the things that I do now, as it is. Cut first, cut fast, or die. I like that one. The ground is the world's largest fist. Avoid it when you can, use it when you must. Those sound so familiar. It's what's really interesting, Jeanette, is that sometimes I'll read these things and I'll go, wow, that sounds great. Like I wasn't the one who wrote them. And, so it's amazing. Like when using a weapon, make no distinction where the weapon begins and you end, become one. It's incredible. And the blow you don't see coming hurts the most. A lot of these yadisms, as I read this, is basically things that I learned in martial arts class. We can title that. They can go under the heading of what you learn practicing a martial art. So that's basically it. Good morning, Laura, and welcome. She can't share the spreadsheet yet, Mark. I don't think she's done. I think it's longer and longer and longer. John says, I'm now 63 and realize I don't have to ever grow up. That's true. Only the physical is limiting. And even that, if you train and you take care of your body, you keep going for much longer than you imagine. Okay, so let's continue. So yeah, so Raccoon's being written. It's going to take a while. There's really no rush. I don't think it's due. I want to say, what are we? It's March, April. I want to say mid-May is when Raccoon will probably come out. So I'm going to take some time and really see if I could dive deep into Simon's past. So that's why I'm kind of getting They Kill out. And then I want to dive into Requiem. And then I'm going to finish Sepia Blue. So the next one after that will be Demon, which will be the 5th and last book of the trilogy. And then the next Night Warden book, Nocturne Melody, which is, you saw the cover. I put it up in the mob for Art Thursday. That art is the cover. If you cut that cover, that art in like thirds, the third with gray and coda actually forms the cover of the book with the title and the name and all that. So that's the art for Nocturne Melody for the next Night Warden book. And so I'll be doing that after Demon. And that'll probably be the last book, the last long book of the year. Maybe not. That's probably the end of the year, but towards the end of the year. If everything is okay with COVID and everything, then I'm headed to Vegas in November. And I don't want to have a book kind of in limbo as I go to Vegas. I want to be done with the writing in terms of between the last book and Vegas, which is November. I don't know. It's in middle November, beginning of November. I don't like to have projects not done if I'm going to travel. I want to have the book done. And Dawn asked me if I'm planning on sleeping any. I sleep plenty. I do, really. I know. See. So Jeanette says 53 other characters at Blood is... Oh, geez. As well as Monty. It's a lot of characters. Characters that sometimes I don't even remember. TK and LD book. Ooh. That's the 10. Because they're the central characters in the 10. But a book with just them two, that's an interesting concept. I haven't considered it, Rebecca. Maybe. We'll see. And maybe it has to go through the route of like Nixia and Acheron's coalition, a TK and LD book. It would be fun, a TK and LD book, but it would take time. And I'd have to do some cross-referencing to Monty Strong. But I could actually set it in parallel to the Monty Strong world, and it would be great. Or prior. That's what the 10 is. The 10 is actually the adventures of the 10 prior to Monty Strong, or unknown to Monty Strong. Hello, Carla. Welcome. If I haven't welcomed you, I'm welcoming you now. Let's see. So welcome to the Mob TV Kaffeklatch. Roselli's building, the Moscow, which is the home office. Yes. Morgue office, the chief medical examiner. That's Haven. Yeah. There's a lot. Oh, my. Wow. There's a lot. Katz's Deli. We really have to go to Katz's Deli, like, for real. When we have the Destruction Tour in Peaches Con, we're going to make a trip to Katz's Deli. MoMA, the Randy Rump, which is a real place. It's a real location where the Randy Rump is, but it's not called the Randy Rump, obviously. They should name one place that, though. Polanco's is a real place. Let's see. The Den, the Sanctuary, the Hellfire. Yeah, Luger's is actually a real place. Peter Luger's is a real place. The Last Gasp. We haven't gone back. We should go back to the Last Gasp. The Last Gasp is in the first book in TMB. We have to go back. And the Moving Market, which is obviously always moving. So, yes. Yeah, Peaches Con. So here's a shirt that I made a long time ago. This is one of the first shirts. I don't know if you can really see it. This is Peaches looking at the moon. It's a cool shirt. I don't know if it's on the store, if it's in the ZAZZLE store in M&S, but I'm pretty sure if I'm wearing it, it's probably there. But Peaches Con will create some awesome shirts for that, and we'll make it look fantastic. Yeah, Jeanette, that's a lot of information that you're collecting, so it's going to be incredible. No, just the places that are damaged, because most of the places that are damaged get fixed by the damned, the decons, and Magical Nulls Elite Edition, of which I'll be finishing that trilogy this year. So that's another short trilogy of novellas, The Damned. Audrey, it's awesome to use real places because that way when we have our destruction tour, we can actually go to these places, which would be fantastic. Oh, let's see. Yeah, there's a lot to read, Jeanette. There's a lot. Okay, so audiobooks. The Golem is up, and it's book 10. So we still have the Golem, then we have, I believe, Reaping Wind, and then Walking the Raisin, and Requiem has to be written. So Kevin's almost caught up to the Monty Strong series for now, but he has so many other things that he's going to do, so it's fantastic. I appreciate that you like rereading them. So, please, because I didn't see Davina or Ayrton. So, tell him to say hello to Ayrton. He'll probably see this later. Hello, Ayrton, and hello to Davina. Awesome. Did I greet my tribe? And hello to my tribe. So, the older ones who are out doing their, multitude of things because they're all adults, and to the younger ones, I know Ray is watching with his mom probably. And E is in school. She goes to actual school this week. And Z, who you saw give the greeting. And to my sister Lee, who's probably at work. Well, she might still be at work. So, yeah. All right, so let's continue. All right, so the audiobooks are out. The audiobooks are getting done. Kevin is constantly doing, I think at this point we're monopolizing all of Kevin's time. So he's doing audiobooks for everything. And the last challenge we gave him was reading The Rule of the Council in Chi's voice. I hope his voice survives doing that audiobook because, yeah, it's going to be, I thought it's going to be hard, but we'll see what, he gave us this great sample, and once I heard it, because Dolly really said, listen, try to see if you can do it in Chi's voice. And I said, that's going to be tough because he's going to have to read it in this feminine voice for the whole time. So, but we asked him for a sample, and it came out, when I heard it, I was like, yeah, that's the right way to go. So if he can do it that way, he should go that way. So he said he could do it. Let's see how it sounds. I told him to take his time. We told him, don't rush, take your time, space it out, so that way you don't tax your voice, because it's also, reading in a particular voice places strain on the vocal cords. So I told him, take your time, don't rush, there's no rush. Do it at a pace that conserves your voice. Let's see. Book 11, which is the audiobook Dark Glass, is going to be released at the start of April. Wow, soon. And book 12, the expected release for Walking the Razor, will be mid-May, along with the short stories. So the Date and the War Mage will also be out in mid-May. All audiobooks. It's a lot of audiobooks. So we're trying to catch up with all the written words to get them to spoken words. So it's awesome. Let's see. What else do we have? Yeah, Ezra's talk with Simon is fantastic. That comes out of, I had a lot of older, I want to say mentors, Jewish mentors who had restaurants when I was younger, and they would pull me to the side and kind of give me life lessons. Welcome, Malcolm. And so a lot of those talks with Simon, with Ezra and Simon, stem from that. So when you hear those talks, they sound the way they do because Ezra's trying to impart certain wisdom to Simon. And also Ezra's death. And I know someone had mentioned that Ezra should speak in all caps, but that's just too close to Sir Terry Pratchett's death, and I wouldn't want to come across as trying to mimic that. And besides, Ezra's more, that personification of death is a little bit more personable and approachable. So he's trying to feed him with the pastrami and the egg cream and have a seed, and so he's still death, but he's much more approachable. Sir Terry Pratchett's death is death. And so it's like, yeah, it's a little bit more imposing. That's why you notice that Sir Terry didn't use that death so often. If you look at all this body of work, there's not that many instances where death appears because he had to use them sparingly. Every time he appears, it's great, but he didn't use them that often. Yeah, Ezra's definitely more subtle. Where did he demonstrate a bit of his power? Oh, when in the meeting between like Simon and Ken, when they were in one of the rooms, and Ezra like just without even like gesturing, unleashed some power and kind of shut everything down. That's how strong he is. Because, and as he has said, eventually everyone meets Ezra. Everyone and everything. Whether it's actual death or it's entropy and a final personification, so everything meets Ezra eventually. Yeah, in the basement, right. And Ezra was like, he's unfazed. So I like the fact that Ezra comes across as unassuming, but it's probably the most powerful being in all of the Monty Strong world. And I like that it's that balance of come on in, have some food, you're not eating well, what's the matter, you're wasting away, what's going on, and also being this incredibly powerful being that has a deli that looks just like Katz's. So, and playing off of that is where Maury comes in, because Maury obviously is kind of another personification of death, but she's Death's PA. And so, and there's a great possibility of having Maury have her own story. But again, too many words, not enough hours. It's just so much. Yeah, Chris, I fight entropy every day I go to the gym. Every day I wake up, I'm fighting entropy. That's how we do it. We fight it like that. Right, Audrey, Ezra is approachable. So Ezra, you walk into his deli, and he sits in the corner. He's the kind of person that you wouldn't feel too scared to go up to and talk to. Even if you didn't know that he was deaf, he's approachable. Some of the guests that he has at his table occasionally, like one time he had Hell, the goddess Hell, sitting there, so sometimes you would think twice about it. This is where Simon gets the flask with JAVAMBROSIA. So it depends. But Ezra himself, the character, is very approachable, for sure. So let's see. So you guys, last Wednesday we had our interview. I don't know what's happening, but it's like there are interviews all over the place. I'm getting approached to do interviews and appear here and be part of this. And I have to be kind of really discerning with the time because I have to write the stories, right? And so, but I'm getting a lot of invitations to do interviews. I just did this recent one with Carter Novels. I think Dawn was there. Some of you might have been there. It was a lot of fun. They're a great couple. I do have a PA. My PA is Dolly. She's awesome in everything, Audrey. So, Rob and Joan, they approached me when I had just written Tombyards and Butterflies. And they really helped push that book when I had just started. So it's amazing now that they've grown, and they asked me to do an interview for them, and I said of course, because that's just the way we are. We always reach back and help people. So yeah. Jeanette says the reference when someone asked Simon about the fact he goes to talk to death. I lost it. Hold on. Yes, Dolly for the win, for sure. I lost it, Jeanette, so you're gonna have to say it again. I'm sorry. I lost it in the feed. Because the feed goes fast. Yes, Malcolm. If a normal person and a supernatural person walked into Katz's, the normal person would end up in Katz's, and the supernatural person would end up in Ezra's. No, Dolly's not my boss. Dolly works with me, Audrey. But she manages pretty much everything. She has a say in everything. The references, it goes to talk death, and Simon replied that everyone has to see death eventually. Yes, everyone sees Ezra eventually. If you think back to the conversation of Ezra and Hell, and they're discussing, I believe, Odin, if I'm not mistaken, or the other gods, and Ezra's unfazed because the response that he gives Hell is that eventually they come see him. Eventually, everyone sees Ezra. Everyone, everything. Yes, Malcolm. Even if they were together, because the threshold of the entrance to Katz's / Ezra's would separate them. That's why you see the threshold always reacts when Simon and Peaches and Monty go into Ezra's. Jeanette says the sentiments repeated at the end of Walking when Simon comments to Callie about how it must be hard on the friends. It's true. Yeah, it is hard. Who wants to be friends with Callie? I mean, yes, she's the goddess of creation, but she's also the goddess of destruction. So it's tough. And I think that's one of the reasons why Ezra enjoys speaking to Simon and Monty and even Peaches, because on some level, the moment someone finds out that Ezra is death, I don't think they want to hang out with Ezra too much. I mean, would you? So he must not have an abundance of friends to chat with. And being able to speak to Simon and Monty, who don't need to worry about encountering him in his official capacity anytime soon, is refreshing for Ezra. So he could actually have a conversation with them and talk to them, and it's not a conversation based in fear about, oh, he's gonna come take me. You know, it's based more in, like, I won't say peers, but more like, hey, let's just talk. You know, and plus you get to eat world famous pastrami and drink egg creams, which are awesome, right, Jasmine? Exactly. He'd hang out with Ezra because he would feed you, and yes, he would. He would make sure that you ate well if you were sitting with him, which is for sure. Yeah. All right, so Craig the Dragon Zimic isn't here, but we have our red shirt competition. I haven't forgotten, and we have our question. So I'm going to say the first Mob TV of April, which is April 2nd, will unleash the question, and then whoever answers it gets to die in our next book, which is awesome. So we'll do that. So make a note to be here on, because I'm only going to say it on the Mob TV. I'm not going to say it in the Mob. So if you're not in the Mob TV on April 2nd, you're not going to hear the question. But I will make an announcement in the Mob that the question will be announced in Mob TV, so everyone gets a chance to hear it. Or you can watch it if it's recorded. But I'm pretty sure the answer will be there before anyone watches it in the recording. What does Jeanette say? I can see the relationship between Ezra and Simon and company is one of the best things about the Yeah, Ezra, it's an interesting way to write Ezra because he has to kind of be omniscient. And so I have to be careful how I write him, because he knows what's going on. Remember, he might be in that one locality right there, but he knows that what's happening or what the ramifications of certain things can be. He's not, well, he can be, variations of Ezra, like personifications of Ezra can be omnipresent. And parts of him can be omniscient, but he's not omnipotent. So it's a kind of, he's not a god exactly, but he's very powerful. And yes, Ezra should have a sense of humor. Come on, really? It's that one part where he says, "Any last words, Simon?" And like Simon is like, "Really, you went there?" Yeah, exactly, John. Ezra could be out on a park bench feeding pigeons, talking with a mother and her infant, and like no one would be the wiser. I touched a little bit upon that in Rule of Council when Michiko has a conversation with Iker. And they're sitting in the bench in the park, and they have that kind of conversation there, you know? And it's kind of interesting because it's that very common occurrence in a very commonplace park, but these two beings are very, very powerful, and it's that balance and the incongruity of it, of having two very powerful beings sitting on a bench and talking. It's fun to have that juxtaposition. Yes, Chris, Mob TV only because, hey, you guys make the effort to come here and be here and hang out with me, and we get to spend this time together. It's only fair that you guys are the ones who get to get the question. That's a great question, Malcolm. If everyone meets Ezra, will Ezra meet Ezra? Well, that's a matter of entry, right? Like, will death eventually die? That's where that question goes. And that is like what Jeanette just said. Ezra takes Ziller frying to a very Zillified level. Yeah, that's a very Ziller question, Malcolm. Will Ezra meet Ezra? Jasmine, thank you so much for being here, and that's awesome. Thank you. Have a great weekend, Jasmine. Thank you for popping in and saying hello. Yes, ask Ziller. We'll ask him and see if he has the question to that one. He has the answer to that question, Malcolm. Will Ezra meet Ezra? Jeanette goes, and that's for frying what's left on your brain. Yeah, that's a good question, though. Will Ezra meet Ezra? I don't think Simon can answer that question. So, and I don't think Ezra would answer that question. So we'll see. We'll have to ask Professor Ziller. But don't forget that even Ziller is not on the level of Ezra. So we can ask our Ziller that's in the mob, but the Ziller that's in the books is not quite at the level where he can answer a question like that. And he's pretty accomplished in the quantum area of what they consider magic, and even he wouldn't be able to answer that. Trisha, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here with us today. It's so awesome. Sid might know. Yes. Sid might know because of the whole time component to that. It's possible. All right, it's we got time. It's 12. It's almost 12:20. So we have questions. What do the designers know? The better question is, what don't they know? See, then this is maybe Ezra will meet Ezra after every other living thing has already met Ezra. It's possible. But the greater question is, can death die? Yeah, John, I met a lot of those. See, John says I know a lot of, oh, come on. I know a lot of professors who think they're as good as Ezra. And I met a lot of them too. I had a lot of them too in university. And yeah. But thinking you're as good as Ezra and being as good as Ezra, two very different things. So Jeanette, well, not every designer, but like Sid, who's a lead designer, he can contact parallel timelines. So he kind of knows what does happen, what can happen, what does happen. So he has to be very careful about impacting the timeline that he's currently in. Yeah, like the restaurant at the end of the universe is the place. Yes, very Douglas Adams of it, for sure. Like, this is what I tell a lot of authors. Try to expose yourself to as much as possible when it comes to reading different genres, different stories, because you don't know what your brain is going to retain and use later on. So all the stuff that I've read crops up, and it's not conscious. These things that come up sometimes, and then someone makes a reference like, "That's just like this thing that I read somewhere else," and I go, "It's possible because I've read so much and I've been exposed to so much and so in many different mediums that it's very possible because your brain will keep things." For sure. Yes, peaches could always... There's never enough meat I don't think there will ever be enough meat in the universe for peaches. Ever. So... At least I don't think so. We'll see. Yes, I think those are all the notes. I want to give a shout out to Dolly who prepared the show notes today. She prepares the show notes every week, but she had to go out and she made sure that I had the notes before she went out. So it's thank you again for the notes, Dolly, because it makes the show go smoothly. Let's see what Jeanette's saying. The Chicago Wizard, also known as Harry Dresden, I heard the Wizard in Chicago has a wiki skull. It holds all the hearts, rumor, knowledge, and it talks. Oh yeah, the last person I spoke to, this is a definite nod to Satori. What was his name? Mincemeat or Rindwince? In any case, he was completely round the twist. Heads up. Something slimy this way comes. There's so many Easter eggs in there. It's incredible. So yes, Audrey, Dolly is awesome. So there are a lot of Easter eggs, and a lot of them, Jeanette, are subconscious. Like I'll write things and it's like someone say, "Oh, this means that," and I go, "I guess it's possible." Like the Easter eggs that come up are spontaneous. I never have to sit and plan Easter eggs. It's just as I'm writing, these references come up because I'm ancient, one, and I've just read and been exposed to so much that it's all in there. Craig the Dragon, good morning. There's so much in my head that comes out. It just wants to come out at certain times, and so it's like basically a really efficient filing system that picks, oh, this information fits right in this conversation. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it does happen. So Craig, I announced that we're going to unleash the red shirt competition. Craig is basically the question former, the question creator for the red shirt competition. And April 2nd, Craig Dragon, we're going to unleash the question only for the Mob TV because, these are the people that are coming in from the mob to hang out with us. So we're going to announce it here. We'll put the question out in the mob, but the answers are from the people in the Mob TV and for that episode. So April 2nd group, those are the ones that get to answer, Yeah, I think so, Jeanette. Jeanette says we are what we read. And I think what happens is when you read broadly, when you read widely, it informs who you are or informs your character, which is why reading is so amazing. And why I always encourage my little ones to read because it's important. Dolly does too. She's like, you got to read something and not on devices. But basically the thing is to get them to read, to get them to expand their mind and to read and to ask questions and to be exposed to words that they may not know offhand. Like I used to have to read with a dictionary in the beginning because there were words that, if you read past the word you don't understand or don't know the definition of, everything after that word gets lost because your brain is still stuck on what did that word mean. So you start losing the context. So you read with a dictionary. You don't know what that word means? Get a dictionary, find out what the word means, and now you can continue reading. And it's only expanded because of things like the Kindle. Well, now if I had to buy and house all the books that I have on my Kindle, we'd need a warehouse because I have so many books. So, and we already have a library. I mean, we have, I want to say offhand, 6 or 7 bookcases full, chock full of books. I can't get any more books without dedicating another room, making another room a library. So, the Kindle has been a lifesaver in that regard, for sure. For sure. All right, let's get to the questions because we have questions. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Audrey, the question queen, asks, Dolly, what's your favorite underappreciated novel? Okay. I can't answer for Dolly, but maybe she will answer in the comments. So, Dolly, what's your favorite underappreciated novel if you're watching? She went to Trader Joe's, so she might be either in Trader Joe's or she might be driving. So, you might get the answer, you may not. So let's go to the next question from Audrey, the question queen. Orlando, what's the most difficult you may not. So let's go to the next question from Audrey, the question queen. Orlando, what's the most difficult watching? She went to Trader Joe's, so she might be either in Trader Joe's or she might be driving. So you might get the answer, you may not. So let's go to the next question from Audrey, the question queen. Orlando, what's the most difficult the question queen. Orlando, what's the most difficult watching? She went to Trader Joe's, so she might be either in Trader Joe's or she might be driving. So you might get the answer, you may not. So let's go to the next question from Audrey, the question queen. Orlando, what's the most difficult watching? She went to Trader Joe's, so she might be either in Trader Joe's or she might be driving. So you might get the answer, you may not. So let's go to the next question from Audrey, the question queen. Orlando, what's the most difficult watching? She went to Trader Joe's, so she might be either in Trader Joe's or she might be driving. So you might get the answer, you may not. So let's go to the next question from Audrey, the question queen. Orlando, what's the most difficult